Eid nights are supposed to be filled with joy. Laughter spilling from every room, the smell of biryani and kebabs weaving through the house. Children running around with new clothes and relatives exchanging smiles. That night my home looked just as it should, bright, alive, and perfect. My daughter Aisha was glowing. She wore a pale green salwar, her hair braided neatly, her eyes shining with excitement as she helped serve sweets to the guests. For a moment I thought, this is what happiness looks like, but happiness has a way of vanishing when you least expect it. In the middle of the celebration, my phone buzzed. I looked at the screen, an unknown number. At first I ignored it, but it rang again. Reluctantly I answered. A voice, low and urgent, whispered, "Your daughter isn't safe with who she's with. Come home immediately." My heart froze. I stepped away from the noise of laughter and music, pressing the phone tighter. "Who is this?" I demanded. The voice replied quickly, almost like a warning. "It doesn't matter who I am, just trust me. If you love your daughter, bring her home now, before it's too late." And then the call ended. For a moment, I stood there, stunned. I wanted to brush it off as some cruel prank, but a heavy knot twisted in my stomach. Something inside me whispered that it was more than a joke. I turned back to the hall. Aisha wasn't there. I searched the living room, the kitchen, the backyard, but she was gone. Panic surged through me. My wife noticed and asked, "What's wrong?" But I didn't want to scare her yet. I just said, "I'll check outside." My hands were trembling. I dialed Aisha's number. Switched off. I tried again, and again nothing. That's when fear began to eat at me. I rushed out into the street, scanning the cars and the corners, but she wasn't there. The call replayed in my head. Isn't he safe with who she is with? Who could she be with? My daughter was only 19, bright, obedient, innocent, or so I believed. I jumped into my car and started driving, my mind a storm of questions. Did she leave with a friend? Was someone forcing her? Who would call me about her safety, if not someone who knew her? I thought about the number. I tried calling back unreachable. My chest tightened with dread. Minutes later, I received a text from the same number. "If you want to see her safe, don't tell anyone. Come to the old Riverside warehouse, alone." My hands shook as I gripped the steering wheel. That place, why there? It had been abandoned for years, a place people avoided after dark. Why would my daughter be there? I drove, my breath uneven, my heart racing against time. The streets were empty, Eid lights flickering in the distance. My head pounded with fear and anger. Who dared to touch my daughter? Dared to play this game with me? When I reached the warehouse, the air was heavy, the silence almost unbearable. I stepped inside cautiously, calling out her name. My voice echoed in the vast emptiness. Then, in the dim light, I saw a scarf. Aisha's scarf. My knees weakened as I picked it up, holding on to it like a lifeline. She had been here. Suddenly my phone buzzed again. Another message. "Now you know she was with me. Do you want to know the truth about your daughter? Or do you want to keep believing the lies?" I froze. My daughter lies. But truth. My heart felt like it was being torn apart. I typed back furiously. "Where is she?" "If you hurt her, I'll..." The reply came instantly. "She isn't hurt yet, but if you want her back, you must face the truth about your family tonight." I stood there in that cold warehouse, clutching her scarf, my mind spinning. What truth? What secret was so dangerous that someone would take my daughter to expose it? And why did they choose me on Eid night, when our family was supposed to be united, happy, whole? For the first time I realized, maybe we weren't as whole as I thought. I stood frozen in that empty warehouse, staring at the glowing screen in my hand. The words burned into me. Face the truth about your family. Tonight? What truth? What family secret? My chest ached as I clutched Aisha's scarf. I typed back quickly. "Tell me what you want. Money, I'll give you anything. Just let my daughter go." The reply came almost instantly. "It's not about money. It's about what you've ignored all your life. Your daughter knows the truth. That's why she's with me." My heart stopped. With me? That stranger was with Aisha. She had gone willingly. Impossible. She would never, unless she was hiding something. The phone buzzed again. Another message. "Meet me at the graveyard. Midnight. Come alone. Only then will you see her again. The graveyard. My hands went cold. Why there, of all places? Eid night, when the world was celebrating. I was being dragged into shadows. I drove like a madman, my eyes darting to every corner, half expecting to see Aisha. My mind kept replaying moments of her life, the first time she held my finger as a child. The way she smiled when she got her admission letter to university, her gentle voice calling me Abu. Was all of that slipping away? The graveyard gates creaked as I pushed them open. Darkness swallowed me whole. The air was thick, heavy with silence. I walked between the rows of stones, my footsteps crunching against the gravel. Then I saw him. A tall man in a black coat, standing near an old grave, his face hidden in the shadows. "You came," he said, his voice the same one from the call. "Where is my daughter?" My voice cracked with desperation. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he gestured to the grave beside him. "Do you know who lies here?" I glanced at the headstone, squinting in the dim light. My blood ran cold. I knew the name. It was Rahim Udin, my wife's brother.
Hey.
My brother-in-law. Dead 20 years. I swallowed hard. "Why are you showing me this?" The man stepped closer. "Because your daughter came here. Because she knows the truth about Rahim's death. Do you?" My throat tightened. Rahim's death had always been spoken of in hushed tones, a drowning accident, they said. He had gone swimming in the river one summer and never returned. His body was found days later. We mourned. We moved on. But the man's words struck me like thunder. "What truth?" I demanded. He leaned closer, his voice a low growl. "Rahim didn't drown. He was murdered, and the murderer is in your family." My breath caught. The world spun. Murder? Family? My mind screamed in denial. No, that's impossible." "Ask your wife," the man said coldly. "Ask her what really happened that night. Ask her why she's been so afraid of Aisha digging into the past." My chest heaved. "What does this have to do with my daughter?" "Because she found out," he hissed. "Your daughter has been meeting me in secret, trying to uncover the truth. She doesn't trust you. She doesn't trust anyone. And now she's in danger because the person who killed Rahim is watching her too." My heart thundered so loudly I thought it would burst. My daughter, hiding secrets from me. My wife, holding back the truth of her own brother's death. I wanted to scream, to shake the answers out of this man. But before I could speak, I heard footsteps. Light, familiar footsteps. "Aisha," I shouted, spinning around, and there she was. My daughter, standing at the edge of the graveyard, her face pale, her eyes filled with tears. She looked at me, then at the man, then back at me. "Abu," she whispered. "I'm sorry. I should have told you everything." My knees nearly buckled. "Aisha, come here, Beta. Please, tell me what's happening." She shook her head. "Not yet. Not until you're ready to hear the truth. The truth about Mama. The truth about Rahim Chacha." My body turned to ice. My wife. My daughter's mother. What truth was she hiding from me all these years? And before I could take another step, Aisha whispered again, "Abu, someone in our family is a murderer." The graveyard fell silent. My world collapsed into pieces. I stood frozen, staring at my daughter, as if I were seeing her for the first time. Her voice trembled, but her eyes, those same eyes that once begged me for bedtime stories, were filled with something new, fear and determination. "Aisha," I whispered, my throat dry. Tell me everything." She glanced at the man in the black coat, then back at me. "I didn't want to drag you into this, but I had no choice." I started digging into Mama's family history for my research paper. I wanted to know more about Rahim Chacha, but the more I searched, the more I found contradictions. Old police reports that didn't match the story Mama told us. Witnesses who remembered things differently. And then I found letters. My heart pounded. Letters? What letters? Aisha's voice cracked. Letters Rahim wrote before he died. Letters he hid in an old box at Nana's house. In those letters, Abu Rahim said he was afraid of someone close to him, someone who wanted him gone. He wrote about arguments, about money, about betrayal. I felt my knees weaken. The night air grew heavier. Who, Aisha, who was he afraid of? Her lips trembled. Mama. The word hit me like a blade to the chest. My wife? The woman who had shared my bed, raised my child, prayed beside me for years? No, it couldn't be. But Aisha's tears kept falling as she whispered. He accused her Abu, said she threatened him, said she warned him to stay quiet or else. The night before he drowned, he wrote that he was sure she would come for him, and the next day, he was dead. My world shattered. I stumbled back, clutching my head. No, that's impossible. She loved her brother. She cried for him. The man in the black coat spoke softly, almost pitying me. People cry not only for the dead, but for their sins. I shook my head violently. You're lying. Both of you. This is madness. But deep inside, old memories clawed their way back. I remembered how my wife had forbidden me from asking too many questions back then. How quickly she had accepted the accident explanation. How angry she became whenever Rahim's name came up. Aisha stepped closer, her hands shaking. Abu, I wanted to protect you. But Mama knows I've been asking questions. She knows I found the letters. That's why I disappeared tonight. I didn't want her to know I was with him. She pointed at the man. He's a journalist. He's been investigating our family for years. Felt the ground slip beneath me. My own home, my own marriage, was it all built on lies? Aisha's voice broke again. Abu, I think Mama killed her brother. Now she might come for me. My chest tightened, the world spinning into darkness. My wife, my daughter, my family, was everything I knew. A lie. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark corner of my living room, my head buried in my hands, waiting for the sound of her key in the lock. My wife, the woman I thought I knew better than myself. When the door finally opened, I lifted my eyes. She walked in slowly, carrying shopping bags as if nothing had happened. Her face was calm, too calm. Why are you sitting here in the dark? She asked, her voice even. But I noticed the flicker in her eyes. The flicker of someone who knew a storm was coming. I swallowed hard. Where were you? She placed the bags down on the table, avoiding my gaze. Out, getting things for tomorrow. Why, the rage I had buried for years boiled inside me. I stood up, my hands trembling. Stop lying to me, I shouted. I know about Rahim. I know about the letters. Aisha told me everything. Her face froze. For the first time in years, I saw her mask crack. Slowly she turned toward me. Her voice dropped, cold as ice. So, she told you. My heart skipped a beat. It's true then. You threatened him? You let him die? She walked closer, her eyes burning into mine. I didn't let him die. I made sure he died. The world seemed to collapse around me. My ears rang, my vision blurred. Why? I whispered. He was your brother. Her lips curved into a bitter smile. Brother, that man ruined me. Stole money from our parents, gambled it away, and left me to clean the mess. Do you know how many nights I went hungry because of him? How many times I begged our parents to see the truth? But no, Rahim was the golden child. Rahim could do no wrong. When I confronted him, he laughed in my face, said I would always be in his shadow, always second. Tears burned in my eyes. So you killed him. Her smile vanished. I pushed him off the boat that night. I watched him struggle. I watched him drown. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. I staggered back, horrified at the stranger standing in my living room. Free, I choked. You destroyed your own blood. You destroyed this family. Her voice sharpened. No, I saved this family. Do you think you'd be living in this house if he were still alive? Do you think our daughter would have a future? Everything we have, this life, it came because I ended his? I did it for us. My body trembled, fury consuming me. Don't you dare say you did it for us. You did it for yourself. You've been lying to me, lying to our daughter for years. Her eyes narrowed deadly. And now you know the truth. What will you do? Go to the police. Destroy your daughter's life by dragging this into the open. You won't. You can't. For the first time in my life, I was truly afraid of her. I clenched my fists, my voice shaking. Stay away from Aish. If you so much as look at her with harm in your eyes, I swear she'll cut me off with a chilling laugh. You're too late. Now she's already chosen her side. Her words cut deeper than any knife. She's already chosen her side. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My knees weakened, my body trembling like a tree in a storm. "What do you mean?" I whispered. She didn't answer. She just smiled an awful, cruel smile I had never seen on her face before. And then, I heard the sound of footsteps. Aisha appeared at the doorway, her face pale, her eyes swollen from crying. I thought she'd be afraid. I thought she'd run into my arms and beg me to protect her. But instead, she stood beside her mother, not behind me, not with me. With her, my heart shattered. "Aisha," I said, my voice breaking. "Tell me you're not telling me you didn't know." She looked down at the floor. Her voice was soft, almost ashamed. "Baba, I knew. Not everything, but I knew enough. I knew Mama had a secret about Uncle Rahim, and I knew if it came out our family would fall apart." My body turned cold. "And you chose to stay silent?" Tears filled her eyes. "I wanted to tell you, so many times. But Mama said you'd never forgive her, that you'd leave us, that everything we had would be gone. And I was scared, Baba. I didn't want to lose you. I felt the ground slip from under me. The two people I loved most in the world bound together by a secret soaked in blood." I sank into the chair, my hands covering my face. "Do you realize what you've done? You both destroyed the truth. You've built this family on lies. And now there's nothing left." My wife knelt in front of me, her voice low, desperate. "But we still have each other. That's what matters. Forget Rahim. Forget the past. This," she touched my chest, "this is real. I can survive this." I shoved her hand away. "Survive? No, not this time. This time the truth comes out." She stared at me, her eyes wild. "If you do this, you'll lose us both. You'll lose everything." I stood up, my decision burning inside me like fire. Better to lose everything than live with a lie. Silence. Aisha began to sob. My wife's face twisted into rage, then fear, then something hollow. She realized she had lost control. I picked up my phone and dialed. For years I had stayed silent. For years I had carried the weight of suspicion, of doubt. But now it was time for justice. As I spoke to the police, my wife collapsed onto the floor, screaming, begging, cursing. Aisha clung to her, crying, torn between love and betrayal, and me. I stood there, broken but resolute. That night, my family shattered forever. My wife was taken away, her secrets finally dragged into the light. My daughter refused to look at me as they carried her mother out. And I sat alone, staring at the empty chairs around the dinner table. A family built on lies will always collapse. And no matter how much you love someone, the truth has a way of finding you.